Hey there! Tired of spending forever seeding nursery trays by hand? Meet the Quick Click Drop Seeder. It makes seeding trays super fast. Just a click and you're done. You can seed multiple trays in no time, making your nursery work way easier. Plus, it works with paper pot trays, microgreens, and any other tray that you have. Say goodbye to tedious seeding and hello to more time on the farm. Join hundreds of other farmers and try the Quick Click Seeder today. Available at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.
Overall, what were sort of those connections and the ways that you were able to connect with the little local grocery store and with this juice market? Was it just word of mouth? Was it you putting out feelers? Did people find you?
Kind of cold calling. So for the local juice, they started at the same farmers market that I sell at, and they still sell at that, which is the La Plata Farmers Market. And so they still sell there, and they started their own retail kind of brick and mortar location they sell out of. And so that was kind of an easy transition. But before I had first transitioned to that, I had started selling to what is called the Oasis Market in Indian Head, which is a small grocery store, which again had popped up kind of in a food desert. And that was just more kind of cold calling, reaching out, being like, "Hey, I'm a local farmer. I want to see if we can negotiate. I have good sales as it is, and I have a lot of demand in your area from people that want that kind of brick and mortar. They don't want to go out on a hot, Saturday morning in the middle of the summer. They want to go get my lettuce elsewhere. Can we work out a deal?" And so that turned out quite well, and that I do pretty good sales through that. That it's been a nice experience.
And what was that process like? Because I know I don't work with any grocery stores. There's been one store that I attempted to approach. People had recommend like, hey, they buy local stuff. And then I went in, and once I actually went in and shopped at the store, I was like, I don't think this is going to really work out. So I never even really fully approached them. And so what was that process like of, are you negotiating price? Are you working out, what does delivery and receiving look like? Kind of give us a little insight into that process of working with you selling wholesale to a retailer.
So it's actually been so our agreement is actually consignment. And so they have their own existing customer base. And so part of the agreement was that for the select products that I sell, like collards and kale, they won't stock their own collards and kale. I will stock the collards and kale. And because some of these items weren't moving necessarily super quick, again, it's a pretty new grocery store. They had only opened up kind of in the fall of last year. And so they're still trying to build themselves up as well. And so it kind of took a weight off their shoulders in a way for me to say, hey, I will stock some of these items. We kind of negotiate on a cut that they get. I keep track of the sales as far as the how much I drop off, how much I spoil. So if it doesn't look in good shape, I chuck it, and I mark that down, send that all over to them, and I get a check kind of every week, every other week. And so that's kind of the agreement for that. And then that also was because I was pretty serious or pretty determined to try to keep my prices consistent. And so I wanted to be able to direct a lot of people from that area who buy from our farmers market to be able to say, hey, you can get it for the same price at this other location, which is, so you know what you're getting into, where you are. Oh, you buy my lettuce from me for $4, you get it from there. And so that does take a cut of my sort of profit. But at the same time, it's kind of a good trade-off, being that it's labor off of my back of having to physically sell it myself. And they have their own recurring customer base. And so I've picked up quite a few customers just from people saying, oh, what is this lettuce here from this business? And so in the future, my plan would be to kind of expand my offerings into peppers and heirloom tomatoes and things like that as they build up their own customer base. That kind of consignment deal without them having to stock their own heirloom tomatoes. Hey, I can stock the heirloom tomatoes for you, and we work out kind of that same deal. And so that same agreement is kind of the same with the raw juice market there, which is the same kind of consignment. So it's a cut of it that they receive. And so that kind of, we sat down, kind of all negotiated that. Certainly when I first came to the grocery, I said, hey, I have a bunch of samples I can bring y'all. I'll bring you my lettuce, my collards, my microgreens. I can show you how fresh they are. I can show you how long they last. And then I even kept aside, which I felt was pretty good for my case. some microgreens that had been marked for sale previously a week before. And so I brought those in as well. Hey, these were marked, stamped with a best by date or a packing date of the week before. Let me show you how good they hold up. So you know it's not going to spoil in 3-4 days. You're going to have an upset customer. And that, I think, is kind of what sold them. Being able to show, hey, the shelf life on my sunflower shoots is 2 weeks. On my lettuce mix is 2-3 weeks kind of minimum. And so that, was definitely pretty an important part. And it's something that I think kind of going forward, if I'd span to anyone else, I would definitely love to bring kind of the same samples and the kind of proof of longevity.
Hello, growers. If you enjoy podcasts like this one, tune into my podcast In Search of Soil on YouTube for a deep dive into the mysteries beneath our feet. Join me as I explore topics such as mycorrhizal fungi, mushrooms, compost, biochar, and more. It's a soil nerd's dream. We're going deep. We're talking to scientists about all things soil related. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or a gardener just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Check out In Search of Soil on YouTube.